Hey guys, Callum here at Thames Con, and I'm here with a very talented author. Okay. So you'd like to introduce yourself to the people out there?
My name's Nathan Hurst, or Nathan M Hurst, as the book says. And the story basically is Tusk and Clarion, and they take us to another world. Basically, they take us to a world where we basically need to get off of our planet, and we need to journey to another and recolonize another planet. And it's basically how we get there. The story picks up as we're arriving, and things are assumed to be nice and ready for us to colonize, but things don't quite go so well. They start going wrong as soon as we turn up, and then we've got to figure it out and find out what's going on. So
sounds really interesting. So what was your inspiration? What gave you this idea in the first place?
Well, I kind of wanted to explore how we would do it. I mean, it's kind of reasonably near future, so I wanted to try and play with the technology that we have at the moment, or close to, maybe imagining how things might be in a near future, and then how would we get there. So, fast and light travel is a fairly sort of normal trope for a lot of sci-fi, but I wanted to try and take that out of the equation and see how we would get there if that wasn't possible. So that was the first thing, and it was to explore things like artificial intelligence, maybe first contact. If that was to occur, what would your processes be to try and make contact with an alien species? So there's all of these things, it's all in there.
It's very interesting. So how long did it take you to write? Let's just talk about the first book itself. How long did the first book take you to write?
The first book, probably about a year.
A year?
Yeah, so it took about a year to sort of put together. I came up with the idea over several months. I was just sort of mulling it around and thinking how I would sort of put the story arc together, and to obviously what level of sci-fi, if you like, what level of science I would include. So that was basically a year putting that together.
So after the first book, what was the process between that and the second one? How did it feel to have your first book published and out there for it to be your...
Well, when I got the proof through, I had to sit down. That was kind of a moment, but it was more kind of on to the next challenge, really. So where would you take the story from there? I did leave it set up quite nicely to continue. So it wasn't a standalone. I had a full kind of story arc of maybe 3 books to the story. So I knew I was going with that, and as I say, I'm sort of 2/3 of the way through at the moment. So there's a third one that I'm furiously scribbling away at the moment.
Nice.
But so that was kind of the plan, and yeah.
So what's the next step? Where's the story go from here with you?
Well, the second book kind of picks up. So in the first story, we arrive at this planet. Things aren't quite as we expect. And the second story kind of picks up from there and takes it on. So we're then on the planet, and it kind of really opens the story up, because the first one feels quite claustrophobic. It's quite enclosed.
Yeah.
You're on a ship. You're tussling through. The second one is you're on a planet.
And is there a plan for a third book? What's your next project? What's your plan for next?
Well, there's a couple of things actually. So I've got a third book that I'm working on at the moment, which will sort of continue with this storyline.
Yes.
I've also got a couple of projects that I'm working on which are more short story based.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's an artist that I've got kind of involved with called Amir Zand. You can look him up on the internet. It's some fantastic artwork. And he kind of approached me with this idea that he had, it's a sort of range of kind of monolithic images that he'd created, but he didn't really have an idea of how to wrap it up into a story. He'd come up with several ideas, and he'd been working with another writer called, I think, Lucas Thorne. And together they've been working through, and then they got me involved, and I sort of collaborated in putting together a kind of a story arc, a world that they could actually inhabit with these images.
Awesome.
So that's kind of one of the projects I'm working on at the moment.
Oh, that's amazing. So we're just going to end this up. Is there any links or anything that where they can find the book online that you'd like to tell our audience?
Well, absolutely. You can look at my website. It's all Nathan M Hurst related. So nathanmhurst.com, Nathan M Hurst on Twitter, Nathan M Hurst on Instagram. You can look us up on Amazon and pick up the book there. There's paperback, ebook.
So for you guys at home, there'll be a link to all those down in the description below. Thank you so much for talking with us today.
My pleasure.
No worries, and we'll see you guys next time.